Why, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat. Today is Sunday, October 15th, 2023. I have made a few modifications to my bookcase behind me. I'm still redoing a lot of the stuff behind me. I'm in the process of switching things out, changing things around. I would like to get more of my game stuff here rather than being exclusively light novels and some manga here down behind me. I think I want to get the My Hero Academia stuff out of this case onto another case and just bring in some of the what's left even. What's left? I've got a whole bunch of my PC CD DVD game things, the boxes, boxed video games for PC games. I've got those that I want to bring over into here. And I've got boxes for Genesis games, the Genesis games up there. So we've got Sonic 2 up there and a couple other games that are in that little holder. My red holder here that I 3D printed and designed. There's also an NFL 95 and a World Series baseball. Ooh, wonderful. I've got boxes for these. They're custom boxes. That's what I have. I have mainly custom boxes, but there's like two that are original boxes for Genesis, but not for games that I actually currently have. Isn't that wonderful? All of these are custom boxes, except for the 3DS ones. All the, like, these are Game Boy and Game Boy Color. Like, they don't come in these boxes normally. Those are usually just cardboard boxes. So these are custom, and these are custom. This is custom. None of these have games in them. None of these have games in them. I don't even own a lot of these anymore. Same over here with these. With these Nintendo 64 titles. I have the Super Nintendo ones. These are here, and the Star Wars Racer is here. But yeah, these guys, yeah, I needed money over these past couple years. I've needed some money. So all of what was my collection, I still have the Japanese games, the Japanese Gen 1 Pokemon games that I have Silver. I have Pokemon Silver. I only have Pokemon Silver because I had a little oopsie on the little screw on the back. I would have sold this. I would have sold it, but I'm keeping it because I had that little whoopsie with a soldering iron. Yeah, it was stuck. I didn't have the tool thing at the time, and so I melted it off. And now it doesn't have like the peg post on it, and it's a bit it's a bit melty in there. The screw doesn't really do anything, but you know, there's like a post for the PCB to sit on. And yes, I have replaced the battery on this as well. I don't know if I will need to replace the battery again anytime soon, but yeah. So that's my copy of Pokemon Silver that I have. It's not going to be sold because of that cosmetic damage, but oh well. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got the Bassmaster Classic here. I've got this one in this set. That's there. And I got a couple that I don't have cases for. Actually, 3 that I don't have cases for. Which, yeah, I don't know if I wanna have these. I got like a... So I had bought a set with a game that I actually wanted, but it came with a couple other games that I didn't want. This thing that doesn't even have its sticker on it. This is SpongeBob, as it turns out, and that functions. We got Dr. Mario, and we got Ken Griffey Jr.'s Slugfest. Okay, like one of the only actual color games I have. Anyway, I just been rearranging back there. Just a lot of this is purely decorative at this point of the stuff that's behind me. I got the Japanese version of the Pokemon Stadium game, you know, the actual real first Pokemon Stadium game. This is not the US Pokemon Stadium game. This is a thing that came before, and it's really bad. This is not a good game. I would hardly even call this a game. But it is technically the first one, and it's only in Japanese. Our Pokemon Stadium that we got in the US and abroad, English language, was actually Pokemon Stadium 2 in Japan. And then our Pokemon Stadium 2 was actually called Pokemon Stadium, like, Gold, Silver. Anyways, yeah, so that's the stuff behind me. What else should I say? I got my replacement, my Fire Max 11. I got the replacement Max 11. It is working, which is more than I can say. See, it is in fact working, which is more than I can say about the old one. And it actually set up. It seemed faster. Hello, Ollie. Yes, you rub. You rub my device. I do hope that you rubbing, that your static wasn't what killed the other one. So, it works. It seems faster. Seems faster than the previous one that stopped working on me. It might just be appearances and not real, but the setup, it seemed like it was able to like load the next step in each step of the setup a little bit faster than the previous one. And a bit of behavior on this one that I did not notice, that did not happen in the previous broken version, was the Kindle app, actually, on this device, successfully synced my account and actually brought in all of my books, the listings for all of my books. Even if they weren't downloaded to the device, it brought the listings for them, and it like brought in the read unread status of the books that I own through Amazon. It did bring that in, and it did bring it on the list of the unread books. The previous broken Max 11 did not do that at any point. My book list didn't actually populate with any of my stuff through Amazon at any point before it broke. Which, yeah, might explain a few things, actually. There may have just been, with it being apparently just a little bit slower and some issues, some like glitchiness on the app on it. There might have been something a bit more wrong with it than just a loose cable, but I don't know, it's out of my hands. It's gone. It is returned. It is with UPS now, and it is being sent off to their whatever return area as part of an exchange. My wonderful free exchange. So that happened, and then earlier, my phone came up with a notification that I have never seen before, telling me that I spent about an hour and a half less screen time this week versus last week on the phone. A notification telling me that I used the phone an hour and a half less this week than last week. That was not a thing on my previous phone, on my Note 8. And frankly, that is not something that I want the phone to be able to tell me. I don't want it to even have the ability to tell me this information. I don't want it collecting this information presented at all in any way, shape, or form ever. And as it turns out, it's a result of this incredibly stupid app that is part of the phone's operating system called a Digital Wellbeing. And it wants all of my info. It wants like everything. And I want to give it nothing. I want to remove this thing from the phone in its entirety, but it's not allowed because it's part of the operating system. It does not let you remove it at all. And apparently it's not even doing data collection. Oh no, it's just presenting it in actual like graph form of other info that the phone collects. It just accesses it. So any permissions that it has is just to access information that the phone already has. So it's like, okay, time to hunt down ways to turn off everything at this point. So that was my morning today, was going through and changing a few permissions for this phone because I want it to have nothing. It shall have nothing. And that included like deleting an ad identifier, a unique ad identifier. I deleted that from the face of existence, and I deleted, I turned off every single permission for the Android intelligence systems, which is absolute hell to get access to because you have to go into your apps, you have to show system apps, hit OK to show your system apps, then go to Android Intelligent System and go into permissions. And then for every single individual thing, you have to disable each one individually. There's no easy way to turn off all of them. You have to do it for everything. And this thing, this stupid thing, has access by default to all of your call logs, all of your contacts, your location, your microphone, nearby devices, notifications, and your phone and your texts. The only thing it doesn't have is your camera. Like, what in the actual fuck? No, you may not have anything. Like, no. No. Frankly, if I had known that this was a thing in Android, I would not have bought a phone. Period. Because I guarantee that, you know, the iPhone does the same thing without a way to turn it off. I would have been looking into phones that had alternative operating systems available. And I would have installed alternative operating systems on the phone. Anyway, because all that is bullshit. So, the game. Hello. Welcome to the game. That said, I barely use my phone. It told me I had like 3.5 hours of screen time in a week. Over the course of an entire week, 3.5 hours. Total. Because look, I spend my time in front of my computer. I don't need this for much of anything. It is a thing that gets texts and acts as an authenticator for my computer, for applications and for whatever logins that I need on my computer. This is a glorified, just an authentication device for me. I don't need it for much else. And to have a grocery list when I'm at the store. That's really about it, because everything that it does, I can do on my computer much faster in a much better experience than on the phone. If there is a thing that is on the computer, I will choose the computer 100% of the time. The actual desktop experience. I will 100% every single time choose the desktop experience over a phone. Like, there's no comparison. I will gladly take my 27-inch screens and my 50-inch screen over this piece of shit screen. I will gladly be in front of the computer 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, over using the phone ever. Anyway, what did we do last time? What are we doing today? Last time that we met, I got military science, and we began working towards Pi Science 2. That was the main stuff. We spent a lot of time talking and planning and setting up a general idea of the path that we're going to take, the route, the order of things that we will do. The order in which we will do things. Yeah, that's a sentence. We spent a long time planning the order in which we need to do things, and the order for like which factories to do when. Approximately, not exact, but a general approximation, so that we can try to be somewhat efficient with our time. We are working towards getting into artificial blood as our first order of business. And in order to get the artificial blood, I need rare earth ore. Okay, I need rare earth ore. Great. I need that for rare earth oxide, and I need it for cobalt extract. For those two things. Now, in order to get that rare earth ore, I need Fat Eye set up. And in order to set up the Fat Eye the way that I would like to set up the Fat Eye, I needed Tufra. And filtration media. So last time we met, I set up filtration media as well as Tufra. And I got the Tufra between streams finished. I got all of the positive feedback loop, waited for that to accrue enough modules, and got all the modules placed in the buildings. So now it is fully online and operational. What else did I do? Nothing. Pretty much that was it. Because we're now at a point where basically the path forward is exclusively new stuff, I can actually rest a little bit from playing this game in between streams. And we can have a smoother experience from stream to stream where we're going to not have that much have happened between. We will continue mostly from where we left off. Mostly. I am forgetting if I scaled anything else. Like, if I did anything else. I just don't remember at this moment whether or not I've actually set up anything else new besides finishing the Tufra. I don't remember. I just don't remember. Regardless, we will be working on Fat Eye. I'm realizing that while I did grab the modules, I didn't grab enclosures. So I might need to, yeah, I need to do the enclosures and the Python bays, and I need filters. Okay. Well, filters are just something we need in general. Let's go ahead and put a request in for Fat Eye enclosures as well as for Python bays, which are there. And I'll just go back and we will collect those. Now this is going to be a massive factory. This setup for Fat Eye is going to include everything for the food as well as for the programmable speakers that are in here and the ethanol. So yeah, that's a few stations that we're going to need for this. Just a few train stations. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All of which solids? All of which solids? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, halfway there, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yay. We can count. Maybe. Maybe we can count. Sometimes I wonder. Whoops. This reminds me, Friday Factorio Facts. The FFF for this past Friday. I have no complaints about any of it. About the actual content that was presented. I have no complaints at all. Because the contents of this past FFF were all about making behavior in the map view of remote stuff, doing things remotely, making it consistent. So, whereas in the previous one, they talked about how they're going to make it so that you can apply wires remotely from anywhere without having to do the blueprint trick. Well, they are, in fact, as they presented this past week, applying that across the board. So anytime there was a situation where you could say not apply a recipe to an assembler remotely, but you could blueprint and paste the recipe to the assembler. Well, they fixed it now. You can just access the assemblers and set the recipes remotely from anywhere. Now, you can't physically put items into the assembler or take them out of the assembler, but you can set the recipes, and you can set ghosts for the module slots. You can put requests for module slots remotely. And you can do this to ghost entities remotely. Which is new, being able to open a ghost assembling machine to set a recipe. That is new. And it seems like they're doing this with requester chests as well. You should be able to open requester chests, any chests, remotely just to see the contents, but you can't take anything out of them. But you should be able to set the requests remotely now. I didn't notice any mention of the shift right click, shift left click thing specifically, but I would assume that ideally that would be a thing that's involved with this, that you should be able to do that remotely from anywhere to set the recipe on a requester chest. That should ideally just work. So yeah, they've got this whole new quote unquote system with the ghosts, and they brought in a bit more information regarding ghost entities, because they're actually going to be changing the colors of ghost entities. It's going to be very, very apparent which entities are ghost entities now. They're going to give it, they're all going to be this nice blue tint color. It's going to be more vibrantly blue, so that you are extremely aware that this is a ghost entity and not a real entity. And yes, this has been a problem. This is currently an issue where in large factories, it can be not blatantly apparent which entities have been built and have not been built. Especially with inserters, especially with yellow inserters, it's actually really hard to tell sometimes whether or not an inserter has been placed or whether it is a ghost entity. If it's one among many. So it should be a lot easier going forward. And I think that basically is it with that. Looks like our first ad is going to be playing within the next half a minute. I'm just going to go and actually bring up to make sure that I haven't missed anything specifically about this FFF number 380. Ah, I see something. I see something. You'll be able to rotate inserter stuff. That's the other thing. You can remotely rotate now. Not inserter stuff, the belt stuff. I'll give a minute for the ads to go through, but yeah, it looks very, very nice. It looks very nice. Indeed. Oh yeah, there's that too. I'll need to mention. Oh yes. Ah, yes, there's a couple more things. 3 more things. 4 with the belt thing. Right. Hello, Ollie. Hello, Ollie Cat. Ollie Cat, turn that on. Up, but up. Ollie Cat. There's Ollie Cat. Alright, assuming folks are back from the ad now. So, you will be able, eventually, to remotely rotate belts and splitters, and I would also imagine the underground belts flip the direction of these things. That will be new. You can't currently do this. You can't remotely do this currently. But we will be able to remotely do it in the future. We will also be able to deconstruct remotely, although it won't pick up the items remotely. What it will do is it will set it to be deconstructed. It will give it a deconstruction order on that specific entity if you hold down right click over each thing. So it will behave as if you've done deconstruction planner over it. You'll also be able to set equipment grid ghosts in entities that have an equipment grid, even if the entity itself is also a ghost. So that's neat-ish. I'm gonna say that I will never use Spidertrons ever, so this is completely irrelevant to me. They are a completely and utterly pointless existence that have no reason at all to have had any time spent on them toward development, period. But also the most important thing, the most important change ever, a completely game-changing aspect that is coming into play. One of the most important things that I have seen thus far. You will be able to put ghost entities on top of ghost landfill tiles. This fundamentally changes everything. This is actually a very important change. This is extremely groundbreaking. This change, and I'm not actually joking. This is very, very nice, because it will mean that you will be able to actually just one-click place blueprints that have the landfill underneath. You will be able to include landfill with your blueprints and place them on water. Which is fan-freaking-tastic for SeaBlock games and SeaBlock-Style games like PyBlock. You know? That's extremely relevant for this style of gameplay, where you have a full map of nothing but water. Imagine just being able to put a rail blueprint down. One click and have it have the landfill and the tiles, the entities on the landfill. That requires a lot of extra coding, by the way, because they have to make sure that as the entities are set to be built, they must always place the landfill first. So even with those entity ghosts on top of the landfill tiles always have to be higher priority than anything that's on them. And that required extra coding that hadn't been done previously. And it has to do so 100% of the time without any edge cases. It must always do that, because the last thing you want is to have an entity built when it's supposed to have water over it, or when it's supposed to have the land under it, and it ends up being built on water because, well, the landfill didn't get placed first, even though it was supposed to have the landfill. Oh boy. So, as I said, all of it has been good. There was one other thing, and that is the fact that with the change in the color of the ghost entities, there's actually going to be a small... I'm going to say that it seems it's not good enough currently. There is going to be a difference in the appearance of ghost entities when a construction bot has been assigned to construct that entity. They presented this in the Friday Facts near the end of it. It's like the last image. There is a bit of a color change between the items that have been assigned a robot to build and that have not been assigned a robot to build. It's too subtle, frankly. There's not enough of a difference in the color between what has and what has not been assigned, in my opinion. That is the one like real thing I can say about this as it has been presented, is that it cannot simply be a change in shade of blue. It needs to be a different color entirely between an item ghost that has been assigned a robot to build it, to construct it, and those that have not. Like, you've built this into the game, you can clearly change the color between what has and has not. It needs to be something more than just a shade difference in the color, because it will be very difficult to tell the difference between what has and has not. If an entire thing has not, and an entire thing has, it will be difficult to tell whether or not it has or hasn't, because there's not enough of a difference. You can tell as it's making the change, but I would say that it will be very confusing. It will be confusing as to trying to tell at a glance whether or not an entire build has been assigned robots versus has not been assigned robots. It will be difficult to tell unless you are actively watching for the change to happen. Anyway, let's build Fat Eye. Where do I even want to start with this? I should start way back here. We need, what, 5? 21.9. Okay, we need one little build for the stuffs. Steam, glorious steam. One little old steam build back here. Just a little tiny steam build. This makes 50. You. I will need Relesia in this build. And I have yet to build a dedicated Relesia build. I will eventually do so. I keep saying that, but eventually maybe another 1,000 hours from now. That's what I need for the Relesia, and all that I need for the Relesia? Yes. Oh, good. I don't even have Relesia. I do have a Relesia nearby. I just need to get modules. Modules! I need my modules here. You. Yes. Down at Poor Alien Samples, I've got Relesia. I've also got Relesia up here. Could have probably gone here, and it would be quicker to get there. Yeah, that'll be easier. Go to Cotton Gut. I'll need to scale Cotton Gut eventually, but we shall see when that ends up happening. Really. Gib. Glorious Relesia. Wow, below 1x for a second there. We're like barely even at 1.5 times right now. As the base gets bigger. That should be enough to hold on to. Even after deleting all of the main bus stuff, we still haven't reclaimed too much performance. Now, performance reclamation will happen only after I get like real access to modules, like later game modules. Unfortunately, when I get access at PyScience 2 to initial modules, like once I get Circuit 2s and can make initial modules, the highest level that we'll be able to get is level 2 of the vanilla style modules. That is the highest we'll be able to go, and for a little while, I will need Circuit 3s in order to get to the end. Just calculating how many doohickeys I need. Whether or not I need to have 2 lines up above or just 1. Alright. Throw in a stack. That'll give me the seeds that I need. Right. I actually need to change this a little bit. because it's the seeds I... No, it's actually not the seeds I need. What? Wow. That's an extreme rarity. Holy crap. That is not common. Every single other time that we've needed Relesia, it's always been the seeds. But this time around, it turns out we actually need... Really? Build, please. Here, have more. This time around, we just so happen to need the actual Relesia flowers. As flowers for the food. So I've made the flowers, I've made the steam. I will need to process the guar gum. So I will need 4 of these. Pretty sure I have the guar as guar provided on the train network, so just do this little conversion. And we'll be good. These need output loaders. This will be plastic in. This will be guar in. Oh, that hurts to get rid of that, but oh well. Oh, I remember what I did between streams. I remember specifically I did one thing, and that was I added an additional borax. I added a line of borax. That was what I did between streams. I just remembered. Besides finishing the Tufra, I added borax up here for a borax 3. I will note that I had forgotten about the borax scaling I had done going into our previous stream. So between streams going into the previous stream, I did a bit more involving borax. So when I deleted the main bus, basically, is when I was taking I at one point took what I had built that was feeding the main bus and put it onto a train, and that was borax 2. And I did this between streams. I did not show this, I'm pretty sure. Because I did this specifically because A, it's a belt of borax that can be put onto a train, so I'll put it onto a train, and it's not in the way of anything. It was just feeding the bus and feeding the iron casting, primarily, that was at the main bus, but all that's been moved and removed. So, onto trains it shall go. But I did that as well because the first borax is unfortunately getting a bit mined out. And I do not have a full belt of throughput here anymore. There's not a full belt of production from the input ore. I don't have a belt of input ore anymore. It's just been mining out a bit, which is sad. It's a bit too small to get the full belts. So I've had to relocate. And this is why I prefer playing with maximum density ores. And this is why I prefer playing with maximum density ores, because I don't consider having to constantly be moving my ore mining to other patches. I don't consider that fun. I consider that tedious and boring. And frankly, I am completely done justifying it. I am completely done with voicing these justifications, especially in text, so Frankly, folks who complain about this in comments, I am just going to ban. And in fact, I did so yesterday. There was a person who said that was cheating, and I'm like, bye. None of your comments will show up for anyone ever again on my channel on YouTube. Because I'm just done with it. I am done with it. You play how you want to play. I'm going to play how I want to play. That's a fun way for me. And if you think that's cheating, I don't give a shit. I'm no longer going to care about justifying my actions in this game. I have nothing to prove. Alright, what am I bringing in? Plastic. And guar. Guar should be first. Yeah, rare earth. This is going to provide rare earth ore. That's the guar gum and the relesia out of the way. I've got the steam here. I think... Is there anything else I need to process? I don't think that there is. So next up is the actual food itself. It will need plastic as well, so I'll split that somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4! Cool. That's how that has to look. And if I needed another building, I would care a bit more. I should build this so that it's scalable. Yeah, I should build it so that it's scalable. And it should be probably the yellow inserters, right? Yeah, it's gonna be the safest bet. I should use loaders. That changes things, though. I have to move this a little bit further down. One, two, three. I could probably just fit all 4 if I really wanted to and just have that as the output. 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, I don't need the splitters here. They just exist as markers. Why, hello, Ollie. There he goes to the back. Alright. This will need guar gum as well as the relesia, so frankly... Whoops. That plus release, and I don't need it for anything else. The only shared item is meat. Yes? Yes, that's the only shared item between the final and here. There we go. So that's the guargum and the relesia. I will need plastic shared with something, as well as bone, gut, meat, and fish. Actually, I don't even need the plastic shared with something. There's a +1 here that doesn't need to be shared, so that's you. The meat is shared. So I will want the meat line. Whatever. I'll worry about it later. I'll need to build the rest of the infrastructure to get a general idea of where to put my split for meat, or how I want to do the meat. What I do know is that all of these remaining 4 things, except for fish, 3 of the 4 are stacked. I'll make the first one the meat. Huh. Alright. There. That's how I'll handle that. But really, though, fish? Hello? Fishies? Fishies? Huh. Alright then. So that's the food. Wait, what? Oh, right. There you go. Steam, glorious steam. Alright, now it's ethanol next, I believe. For that, I'm going to need Faugi. There's your Faugi. I'll need Zogna, and I'll need B-type molasses. Okay. Zogna! I will need you into Zog. The Zog! Glory to the Zog. Okay, seaweed, empty petri dishes, and wood. unstacked wood. And steam. Wood. Petri. And seaweed. Fish. Wood. Empty petri. Seaweed. I'll need that for atomizing at the end. Extra wood bricks. Okay. There's our first cycle of Fat Eye food. Ta-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Hello. Welcome to the stream. We're working on Fat Eye right now, so that we can get into rare earth ores, so that we can get into artificial blood, because we need to process rare earth ore into rare earth oxide, as well as into cobalt extract to make the artificial blood. So it all begins here. Next up is the ethanol, and then we can set up the actual Fat Eye. Oh yes, and the programmable speakers, I can't forget about those too. Those will need to exist, but the bigger process here is setting up molasses, processing into ethanol. There we go. I'll need to get rid of this biomass. That'll do. That'll get rid of it. Just add potatoes. Just add the space potatoes to fra. So that will be next. That is on its way. I need to add filters next. Filtration media. This goes into this guy. make sure stuff has power. This needs the algae, the mushrooms. So shroomies and potatoes needed for this, as well as Zogna, which eats up some glass. But glass. Who cares? I care, because it's a lot of infrastructure for glass. Still, though, the seaweed. Slight issue there. It's an issue of train throughput more than production, I'm pretty sure. So that should be ethanol taken care of. It just needs to be thrown in the thing. Barreling machine. And I need to provide it with sufficient empty barrels, which I guarantee it's not sufficient. But I should only really do that where I'm going to be building this, because we've still got these guys to make. Whatever, I'll do it here. You need these guys, and you need these guys. I'm sorry, but looks like I'm in need of automated factories. I apparently have used all of them. That's annoying. Let's go back, pick up stuff from the mall so that I can forcibly build some additional infrastructure here. Because this guy is, for whatever reason, not getting intermetallics. Eh? My iron nexlet antimony special alloy is not sufficient for intermetallics. It's rather unfortunate, so I'll just have to steal some intermetallics from some other factory. Who here is eating my intermetallics? Who doesn't really need the intermetallics? Most of these factories, I think. Yay, 4. I like having a bunch of just instantly grabbed. Now we can go back. Okay. So once we get this done, I need to decide how I'm going to split up artificial blood, because this is a lot of stuff here to bring in. It's a little misleading because some of this is made local. We could ignore the sand and the stone. And the coal gas. And the hydrogen. So it's a little bit misleading. It's not as big of a train station as this one, to be honest. But usually, I would not want to do all of this processing in the same location. It's just that because all of these throughputs are so low, generally, it does make more sense to do it locally, because otherwise I will be waiting a very long time for the trains to fill up enough to get it to move. There we go. So I need iron and circuits and copper here. So whichever one of these is iron. Circuits, iron, copper. That'll be it. That'll be all. Circuits, iron, copper. Hey, there's some seaweed. We finally got seaweed. That's making Zogna. Circuits, iron, copper. Circuits, iron, copper. Simple circuits will eventually arrive. Iron will eventually arrive, and copper I should have. Yes. Yes, I should have the copper at the very least. What are the last two things for this that I need as input? Cotton gut and lamps. Cotton gut and lamp. Okay. Next. Oh yeah, this needs to be not even here. This needs to be at like the Typhoon Bay recovery area. Right. But it's actually fine that it's here. Weird that it needs two of these, though. That's two belts of things. Wow. So cotton gut, tired fat eye, food, and barrels. So this would be the food. Fat eye food, fat eye food. Which I also need to split here. Just add the cotton gut with tired fat eye. There we go. There's our recovery for our fat eye. That just leaves these enclosures followed by this guy. Oh, and of course, these need water, so I basically need the same thing here. Great. So that means I will really need more stuff. Empty barrel, right. I can probably get away with less because there's so few here, but I will need more for you. I'm gonna reuse the water barrels that I saw that I have in here. Just add water. One, two, three full belts. Fat Eye? Fat Eye, there you are. Oh boy, yeah. So the Fat Eye food splits and comes down here. This needs to be Cotton Gut. Okay. Lamps comes on up. All right. I will need one more input belt and an output belt. I will filter the carapaces left so I can load them in there. Then filter empty barrel. That leaves me with the tired Fat Eye. Okay. So, let's see. I need the programmable speakers and meat brought in, as well as... No, how do I get you out? How do I get you out of here? Because, yeah, I think the only way is this way. So these two are accounted for. I need Fat Eye. Right, I need the Fat Eye as well. So since these are so close to each other, whoopsies. That will be the healthy Fat Eye with the programmable speakers. Those will go in. We have the Fat Eye food with the water barrels. And excuse me, but this goes there. Those go there. Leaving the meat and the lamps. Ooh. Yeah, I need 2 for you. Yeah, I don't think that it can actually get the full throughput of meat and lamps. Okay, meat. Meaty meat. Power to the everything. This doesn't need power. That is that. Oh boy, just get programmable speakers brought in and it will move. And that just needs a delivery of circuits, which, yeah, we could be waiting around a while for that, so we will begin moving on. Everything else is working as far as I can tell, so that's the build. Not too bad, but still. Keep in mind that it took all of this logistics work just to get one. Little over one, but one. One. Actually, it is exactly. It is one rare earth ore. All of this. All of this. Logistics work. All of this logistics work for one. But I will say that the building counts are reasonable for 1 per second. Of just this part, let's be completely clear that the amount of input going into the food is yeah, that's a lot more complexity that is added into this. But the actual final like thing is here for the fact that it's 2 Python bays and it's 2 enclosures to get get enough carapaces for 1 per second of the ore. This is okay. These are okay. All right, that is done. So in order to get into artificial blood, I need to do all this now. Oh boy, yeah, this is a thing. This is a thing, and I have to deal with all this. I have to get all these voided. I have to get some of this built local. Glorious. Beautiful stuff. I am going to copy my rubber build setup for getting the organic solvent and aromatics because it is very specifically built to provide excess amount of aromatics and organic solvent. I do need urea broken down, and I need to decide how I'm going to get the urea for this. I think that it will use a bit much on the blood, really, but I think I'm just going to eat it. I'm just going to eat the blood cost, I think. And I might do that for this playthrough. It depends, really. It depends. How much, I've got Augs slaughtering. Aug slaughtering provides all of my current blood. Aug slaughtering provides 375. Okay. I have enough. I have enough of the blood. Because remember, I am in fact slaughtering for 30 meat per second, the equivalent of 30 meat per second at my AUG slaughtering wherever it is in here. Yes, I have a few buildings. I has a few buildings killing AUGs. In fact, I've got excess of everything and it's voiding everything. Yay. Voiding. I like voiding. Voiding is awesome. It is magnificent. And it's eating all of my production of the AUGs. Hello, why are you not? Why you no go? Alright, why you no go? Why you no go nuff? Why you no go nuff? Why you no nuff? You should be fine on throughput. I don't know why you're not fine. You no go nuff. You no go nuff. Ah. That is a thing. Huh. I'll think about that later. For now, though, I need to make sure that I have all of this infrastructure. Oh, right. I'm going to build Aurum. I need flotation, fluid sep, and thickener. I don't have any. Really? You. Uh-huh. Oh, it's you. Okay. So the reason I don't have the flotation cells is because they're being eaten by hydro classifiers. Build me things. Thank you. Okay, I need a load of these guys. As for the initial Aurum, I think I had initial Aurum and I think they're in a box. But I could be wrong. We might have to make initial Aurum. I don't remember. To do some hunting around. I'm not seeing it in these boxes. Yeah, I'm not seeing it in those boxes, so it is possible I didn't make any initially. Not seeing any in the tooltips. Yeah, not here. Got 80,000 units of belts in this box. You have Aurum. You have 30 of it. I knew I had some in a box somewhere. Let's just figure out which box it is. Oh, big stretch. Okay. So how are things? That's really 2,100 of the Iron Next Lead Antimony Special Alloy just sitting around in this box. Enjoy some special alloy. I guess I could pull out the Vitraloy as well. And put that in a box. And then set a recipe on one of these factories to make intermetallics. Sorry, it's a different building. It's one of these. Wow, these things are smaller? Interesting. That'll process all of the stuff into extra intermetallics for me. Oh boy. All of that just in regular box. Alright, robots, you get to be busy now. Yeah, you get to be a bit busy. I had 1,108 logistics spots. Now there's 220 active that are left behind, not active, and that number's probably going to go down. That is my alarm going off to indicate that we are in fact halfway through today's stream, meaning it is time to take a brief break. And when I return, we will be setting up this factory to make the artificial blood. That is our goal for the day today. And if we manage to finish it within the next second part of the stream, we will move on to probably Ulrich next. Ulrich will follow from here. So I will be back in a few minutes. We are currently set to end at our usual time at 1. We have not extended the stream by an hour quite yet, as far as I can tell. So I just didn't get a notification. Doesn't look like it thus far, so I'll be back in a few minutes. And I returned. Welcome back to the second part of the stream where we are going to actually be setting up the artificial blood here. Just to be sure about things, I need some additional centrifuges. Okay. So we are in need of 3 more. 3 more centrifuges are required. So what do we need to build centrifuge? Where is it, is the question. Where are you? Sen? There. It's in alternative energy these days. Duralumin, aluminium, and intermetallics, of course. Can't help but notice that they seem to have grabbed all the intermetallics. Duralumin. And aluminium. Okay. Ooh. I am lacking duralumin. You. Alright, just need to grab some aluminium then. Here. That's 2. Yikes. That is actually a lot of duralumin. That is totally 50 duralumin each, isn't it? Yeah, that's a lot. That's half a stack. That's a bit much, I think. That's a bit too much duralumin to make each individual machine. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's a bit too much stuff per machine. Even 20 is too much per machine, frankly. Of the ones that need duralumin. Gosh, you also don't have... Question is why? Why is there not enough duralumin? I'm making the stuff. I am making it through molten recipes. Like, why isn't there any coming in? Why isn't there anywhere near enough? Huh. Weirdness. Alright, there's some. That gives me enough of you. And we can go and build factory. Time to build factory. We shall build factory here. What am I gonna do in this one? I don't know. It's got its prime real estate being right next to the mall. And being really close to the train station to get into the mall. I need to landfill this, get more rails placed. eventually. Because I would like to, you know, build around them all and not keep expanding layer by layer left and down. I'm working on up at the moment. It's just it's like this is the next line for me to build up. But I'd rather go right. When do I get the advanced locomotives? Sam. Okay. Advanced small parts. Mark II, gearboxes, shafts, brakes. So this is... I'm just trying to remember if this is in Pi 2. This is in Pi 2. Right after the machine components, stage 2. You don't even need circuit... Oh, wait, don't... Yes, you do need circuit 2s. Normally, because you need circuit 2s to get Novens. You can't get the Novens, realistically, to get Sam for the infrastructure to make these. So even though they don't need circuit 2s directly, you need to get the circuit 2s for Novens for an ingredient of the self-assembly monolayer material that is used to make advanced locomotives. Oh boy, so basically they're going to be timed around having initial access to modules. Alright, I will need blood, so I need to keep this for blood, regular blood. I will need... It's going to be a little difficult determining exactly how many stations I need for this build. I do need the rare earth ore and the nickel ore. I need to put nickel ore on the network, I think. Because I'm pretty sure I am processing the nickel that I am mining where I am mining it. So I need to put that on the train network. I do need to have a thingy, though, for it. Nickel, neo, titanium, guts, meat, wood. Coke. I'm gonna tentatively have the thing for the coke, but... we're going to have pitch processing, which will produce coke, and assuming that I have voiding for it, I may not need it. What I do know that I need is one more of this one for the stuff. For the stuff. And it was off kilter. Slightly. For hot air, I need hot air. I need the blood and the hot air, so there needs to be 2. Let's place all this. And I just might not need one of those. All right. The fun part. We need steam. That's a good place to start. Oh, I have a completely unused thing here too. Great. We need steam, glorious steam. Start us up with steam. Steam and regular sand? And stone. Okay. Well. Sand. And stone. Okay, that is the sand and the stone. And the steam. I need coal gas. I need aromatics. I need the hydrogen, and I need the organic solvent. Oh, joy. Oh, bliss. Okay. Go copy this. Because that's the hydrogen. Then from rubber, from the rubber bubber. Yeah, so rubber bubber. You. Yeah, I thought so. You are doing shenanigans. You are full of shenaniganery. So I'm gonna copy some of the shenaniganery. A bit of the shenaniganery. Just a little bit of the shenanigans. And I'm gonna paste it down here. Just a small little bit of the stuff from before. Then I will be deleting most of it, most likely. So how much should that do? 15? Yeah, we can remove all of that. All of that. I mainly just copied this to get access to the pipe layout. That's why I copied like the whole thing. It was primarily just for the pipe layout. I think I'm gonna hold on to 2 here. And I need how much? Not much. I'll hold on to 2 here. This is like super long, so I'll trim all that. I probably don't even need this much, not even close to this much, but I'll hold on to the layout at least. Same thing here. This is triple. This is a triple. don't even need anywhere near this much. Oh, but this needs the tar in, doesn't it? This isn't making the tar from wood. Hmm. I'll just have the extra stuff here. It doesn't really matter. Just more steam. Even more steam. Beautiful, glorious, wonderful steam. I'm gonna go back down because I missed a little bit of the infrastructure. I missed this piece of it. Actually, I missed this piece of it. I'm going to get rid of you. I'm just gonna overlay the things. I should have just gotten rid of all the belt as well, but whatever. Power to the everything, please. Alright, now I'm going to need some tar production. I don't even know what this belt's supposed to be. What's this belt supposed to be? Nothing. It's like we're dealing with solids here. I don't need belts. The only belts that need to exist are part of the output of the stuffs. Yes, the pitch processing. I don't even need this much, I'm pretty sure, but still, this is all for the pipes. It's all for the pipe setup arrangement. I don't feel like redoing all the pipes. That'll take forever and ever and ever and ever to redo all the pipes. So no, not happening. Coal, gas, and tar. I suppose I will need to at least break this down to a point where... That's not the recipe! That's the recipe. Goodness. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. The excess is not the naphthalene, the excess is the carbolic. Getting this by processing light oil. Now what? Fine, be that way. Oh, I've got this. Huh. Why? Why? That's the question. I don't understand. I really don't understand at all. Why do I need to add something else here? I don't get it. Fine. It is the worst part of Factory Planner, is it just does not tell you why it wants these things to be set. 53.3 tar is the amount necessary. God, that's going to be a bit of wood. Yeah, so it's a 6.6 wood is fine. Yeah, so now we got a better idea of the number of buildings that I need, and I'm not even doing the pitch processing. I'm sorry, now what do you need me to mark? Hydrogen? Game? So what do I need instead of coal gas? Tar? You'll overproduce tar? What the actual fuck? Why did you reset everything? Why did you reset everything? Fuck you, Factory Planner. Fuck you. That is not okay. That is not okay. In the slightest. What else? What else? The ammonia and the hydrogen. That's the factory. 1. 1 is the number that I need. Not 6. 1. Well, so much for all my setup. All of it. So much for all of my setup. 1, 1. 1. 2. 1. How much steam? 80? 66.7. So I just need one more steam, and I can do it up top. All that will die. Didn't want to redo the whole thing, but oh well. Plans change. And I don't need to offset my steam. Excuse me, which is the steam? Here. That's 100 steam. It'll be more than enough. It shall be more than I need. That it shall be. That it shall be. Okay. I suppose I am overproducing both naphthalene and carbolic oil. Why I couldn't just say, hey, overproduce this stuff. That's because of ratios. Ratios suck. But anyway. So I will overflow void you. I have to overflow void the naphthalene as well. I have to void all of my anthracene oil. I don't need any anthracene oil, which that is here. All of that gets voided. I don't need it at all. Which is you. That is anthracene. And I void all of this creosote. So that should be that. Why do you have any amounts of that? I don't know. But that needs to be voided in its entirety. Who's got... Okay, you're voiding that. Okay. So that's that part. This alone produces enough coke, so all this other coke from up here, that needs to get destroyed. I will do that with this recipe. How much excess total coke is there? 3.8, which is enough for one building. Demolish the everything. You know, just don't stack. It doesn't need to be stacked and unstacked. There's no point. Okay, you, wood, coal. This produces ash, and I need to void the ash, which also means setting up an ash, or setting up a voiding line. Alright, the point of this is to get tar and to get coal gas. There will be excess coal gas. Or is there excess tar? Which is excess? There will be excess tar. Because of course there will be excess tar of all things. That will be in excess. There will be excess tar. Okay. Great. So many shenanigans here. And we haven't even really begun. What even is this? Artificial blood. Oh yeah, I need to also change this, because this isn't one of these types of factories. This is a fluid producing factory. Please stop doing that, game. I don't actually want you to do that ever. This should only need wood. And it should produce all the things and go through the whole process, do all the stuff, and eventually end up with organic solvent. Because remember, the whole point of this was to get 2 whole units of organic solvent per second, and the coal gas and the coke and the aromatics, because apparently I also need aromatics. And there will not be excess aromatics. Okay. So, next. That's all that. I need the stone wool, and that's the point of the coke and the stone. And steam, too. So we'll do this next. Gosh, oddly, all of this is actually just to get into the stuff. Yes, it's so very specific of me. To get into the cadaveric aurum. All this just to get cadaveric aurum. Yay! Things. Stuffs. This is for stone. This is the sand. Five seeds. 8 seeds from 4. So the whole point is to get the stuff out. Okay, it's just one stone wall. So I need 35. What in the hell? That's so frustrating. I know I grabbed that stupid extra thing. I know it happened, but apparently not. 35? 39. 8765. Like I very purposely had an extra power pole there and it didn't copy. I'm getting annoyed. Just a bit today. Getting annoyed. There is no point having this all turned on until I have enough modules for all of it. That's it. That's all. That's all we need. For now. This is better, because I do need to make sure that this is always going to have priority over these. Yeah. Okay. So that's all that. Next, we can do the atomizing. This, of course, is wood. The irony that artificial blood requires regular blood in its process. That's a pretty hard requirement at the start. It's like, well, then what's the point? Blood. Blood the normal. We're making the artificial. Alright, there's enough seeds to start the next building, and that will speed things up a bit. Because I should at least get the buildings that have full modules moving generally, for the most part. That'd be faster. We've actually done the bulk of this build already. This was the hardest part of this build, was getting this Aurum set up and all the stuff for the Aurum set up. Now it should be pretty simple from here. So he claims. Right, there's urea. So urea's done. I do for that step, so... Hama. Right, and I have that, and I need to get the nickel online too. Alright, thinking. We'll do this next. So that's the acid gas. The whole point of this was acid gas for the sulfuric acid. This will not be the way that I do this in the long term, because in the long term there will be a very specific turd upgrade for Fawagi that will unlock a recipe that will allow me to get acid gas from Fawagi. It will essentially unlock acid gas from sulfur plus Fawagi, and there is a atomizer recipe that lets you convert Fawagi into sulfur. So essentially you can take Fawagi into acid gas into sulfuric acid. So you can just use mushrooms instead of Aurum. Which, yeah, means that the only thing that Aurum is going to be used for in the long term isn't any amounts of sulfuric acid, but only the DMS MSA stuff that it makes, that we'll need later. Not now, though. But at least, hey, we'll have modules. At least we'll have modules for it. Speaking of which, I will remove this for now, because I do want preferential seeds and a box. I want a box. This is my box. This is my box. I don't go anywhere without my box. Okay, 3 of you. And this is all? Yes, all. Every last bit of the urea. Okay, and I will be overproducing on the ammonia. The ammonia I only need 1, the cyanic I need 10. So I have 9 extra ammonia. Okay. That is that. I'll do the albumin right before the artificial blood, And I should do the Decalin right before the Flutek. So that means that next up we're working on the rare earth oxide and the cobalt extract, which is going to be easier to do first. Probably the extract, as it is using the cyanic first. I will need the mixed ores for that, which means I need to do the copper ore thing there, followed by this guy, followed then by this guy. And the 2 doohickeys. For that. Okay. I will need the wood brought down for you. And then this needs meat and guts. Meat. Guts. Meat and guts. Meat and guts. Equals copper. I'll actually do this over here. Okay, nickel will need to be provided onto the train network, so that's the next step. I need a nickel, and I need rare earth ore. The nickel ore. Will it be stacked or will it not be stacked? It will not be stacked. Nor will the rare earth ore. I didn't put the train down here, but I did define the stations. Don't even have any of the rare earth ore yet. Cough, hack, wheeze. Because still lacking circuit 1s. Great. Fantastic. Okay, nickel. Here. Whoopsies. You are stacked. Great. I'm gonna unstack it, put it on the train. Yeah, fine, whatever. 50 per stack isn't too bad. Alright, back we go. So, what's going on at Circuits? Where's the factory? You. Hi. What's wrong with you? Batteries. What's wrong with batteries? Batteries. Antimony. Why you know antimony? Oh. Well, that would explain some things. That would be a pretty solid explanation right about there. That was part of the bus deletion, I think. Yeah, part of the bus deletion. I ended up cutting power to the antimony. Oops. It's fixed now. Okay. Well, need to define the nickel ore source priority. Right, that's cobalt extract. That's actually, the cobalt extract is done. Then the rare earth ores are next. Yeah, that's all that. Rare earth ores. We crush. We mill. We agitate. We thicken. We separate. We evaporate. And then we separate again. A gravel to the right, stack. Stone. Stony, stony, to the right. We stack. You. We stack. You. Do not you. We stack. Shouldn't this have copper? Yes. Ugh, right. So this planner should be reusing this 0.1 copper. So I just need to check, does this copper make only 1.5? No, it makes up to 3.5, so that's fine. I don't have an issue there. Iron oxide to the right. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dam. Oh, the great part about rare earth processing into rare earth oxide is that by default it is a productive process. But essentially every step along the way is productive, allows productivity modules, and that's by default. Of course, I have modded things so that everything is productive, but yeah, that's one of those ones where it's just normal. It is just normally productive. Because there is not a method of improving its output. That's pretty much the only reason, is that it just doesn't have a way of improving the output outside of the thing. Outside of the thing, yes. Outside of being productive. It needed to be productive in order to have an upgrade over time. Okay, then you and your 1 unit per second. Okay. I think that covers it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that covers it. We just need to void. Huh. I just need you to keep moving. That would be great. Well, I was gonna sneeze, but then it just went away. Alright. And then it just faded. Faded away into nothing. I'll take it. I'll take not sneezing. Over sneezing any day of the week. Okay, obviously, I've got extras here. So now I can do the next set. Oh boy. It's going to take a while for the circuits to come back online. Now that I fixed the issue with the antimony, it's going to take a while to get enough accrued for the next delivery to batteries, specifically, since a lot of things need antimony. So I have to wait for the batteries to get a delivery of the antimony, and I have to wait for the batteries to accrue enough to fill the train, and then they have to actually deliver to circuits, and then I have to wait for the circuits to accrue enough for the train to be full, and then the train has to come to the rare earth factory instead of just the mall, because it might go to the mall next instead of rare earth. So then I would have to wait longer to get a delivery to rare earth, and then rare earth has to fill up enough to fill a train. I have to actually put a train down still, but it has to fill the train, and then it has to come here, and then this will move. Eventually. So the chances of that happening before the end of the stream within the next 18 minutes is 0. All right, cobalt fluoride. The whole point of all of this was just to make cobalt fluoride, which, actually needs acid gas as acid gas. Well, all right then. I guess I can bring that down as well. And I need hot air. Request hot air at AB. Now, there's supposed to be one extra station as I built it, because I did end up reusing localized coke. But I think the other stuff here, we've got our Nexalit, and we have our titanium. I'm sorry. Okay. Nexalit plate. Titanium plate. Hottest of hot air. Decalin and albumin. Okay, Decalin is what needs those two. I need to bring down the hydrogen, the hydrogeist. The absolutely most hydro. of the gens. Oops. Alright, there's all that. That's Decalin. Decalin plus that equals Flutec. You know what? Keep that alignment. Then albumin. Oh boy. That's a lot of power. You can make albumin through a different recipe later with stuff. With stuff! Yes, how very specific of me. You can make it out of... Words. Words escape me. Out of one of the creature eggs. The Arthurian eggs. We'll make albumin. Each one of these makes it at half the rate that I thought it did. I was like, oh, is this 0.1? Oh no, it's 0.05, not 0.1. Great. It's fantastic for a building that uses 20 megawatts each. It's like, yes, that sounds like a great idea. Let's make the recipe act at half a unit. Not even half a unit, at at half of a tenth of a unit per second on a building that's 20 megs consumption. At 0.05 per second. Yes, that's the idea. That's a great idea. There's surely no issues with this at all. Anyway, we'll have albumin at least. That's the Flutec. We're actually getting Decalin. That's fine. It's just the cobalt fluoride is going to take n amount of time, an existent amounts of time. Of course. All right, there we go. Ta da. All right. Just add rare earth and get the acid gas going. And it shall be fine. It will move. It will be glorious, in fact. It shall be a wonderful thing. Oh yeah. Trim that, please. Although I don't really think I necessarily need to trim it. I'll keep it that way. You are crappy. It's supposed to go up here to void things, but guess it might just not be enough. I'm sorry. Oh. Oh. That explains a few things. That explains a few things, actually. Yeah, that completely explains the lack of this moving. Yeah, turns out I was missing a belt. Uh-huh. Yeah. Supply depot. Full cargo. So what are we doing after we eat pie? I have mentioned before thinking about Omni. We need fluid count. RT. Greater than or equal to 80. Well, with 8 minutes to go in the stream. Hi. Welcome. Just gotta make sure that we are not actually extending the stream today. We currently are not. If someone wants to surprise me and make that happen, I wouldn't mind, but we have actually reached a general standard, like, good place to stop. We have set up the artificial blood. So for the next 7 minutes or so, we're going to plan out what the next steps will be. With that finally done, we need Ulrich. That is what we are going to plan next. We need Ulrich. We need Ulrich as Ulrich. And not to destroy them. We only have one recipe and it involves making food. Oh look, more Relesia. I guess I should plan a Relesia factory at some point, huh? Maybe I should plan out a Relesia factory at some point, huh? That's a lot of water. You drink a lot of water. Anyway, you are free-ish. I've got a factory making ash. I'll bring it in by train, but this is local. I'm tempted to release a factory between streams and provide Relesia. I think that's the plan. So that'll just be 4 ingredients in for the Ulrich factory, 25 machines, 6 reproductive complexes. It'll take some time to spin up, but that's Ulrich. I have 2. I have initial Ulrich already. The Ulrich we need as Ulrich in order to get into some of the Arcod stuffs. We need it for the Arcod honey. That's going to be part of this Pi Science 2. So Pi Science 2. How far have we gotten in here? Well, we've gotten into artificial blood. So that part now, I can say, is finished. I'm actually going to need more Decalin for getting into this cytostatics, but that's going to need sea sponges. I can set up sea sponges at any point. We've got an ad coming in the next 20 seconds here, within the next 20 seconds. I can get Decal in at any point. And I've gotten retrovirus. I have the retrovirus on the network. So I can get cytostatics after I get my sea sponges. That's anytime. I'll give the ads a couple of seconds to go through. Let's see. Yeah. Since I have the artificial blood at this point, and since I can consider myself as in a state of the game where I have artificial blood, what I can do now is I can begin the process of setting up Corlex. Now that I have artificial blood, I can get initial Corlex and I can get the initial Zipier. So now we've got like Ulrich, Arcod, Sponges, Zipier, and Corlex and more than that. But for the alien life stuff, I need all of those. I need those 5 things set up in order to progress here into Pi 2. I'm just thinking to myself, because this formamide it's not immediately apparent, but formamide does need methanol. It cycles 1-to-1 the methanol with formamide, but you do need to provide it, so we need something that can make methanol to have some in the system for it. But otherwise, it's mostly free. It is ammonia to make the formamide. Now, formamide into formic acid is a bit bigger of a problem, but anyway. We could do this to avoid formic acid through Vrauk, but, you know, I already got the Vrauk going. I may as well not stop with it. Bigger issue is the amount of Arcods, and getting Arcods. Arcods will take a lot of time to spool up, but the honey isn't that big a deal. It's actually getting Arcods as Arcods, and to have enough Arcods for modules, that's another problem. The Corlex will be a factory, the Zipier will be a factory, the Arcods will be a factory, the honey will be a separate factory, I think, and I will import the honey. The cytostatics will be a separate factory, sea sponges will be separate from them, and primers will be a separate factory as well, and polymerase and the good alien samples, those are all going to be individualized factories, as well as the Peregrine. Peregrine will be an individualized separate factory from PyScience 2. Basically, the PyScience 2 location is just going to have the 2 research centers and a whole bunch of trains bringing stuff in. Maybe not the flavonoids. Flavonoids are easy enough to just make local. Do I even have that here? Yeah, it's just because it's seaweed yadles. Seaweed plus yadle. Woohoo. There's your flavonoids. That's tempting though. I think I'll have a flavonoid factory. Local for both of these ingredients to make the flavonoids, because, well, as it turns out, we have a recipe in the botanical nursery that just makes yadles. It just grows yadles in the botanical nursery, a lot like the native flora in the thing, but it just makes yadles. You need a lot of botanical nurseries for it. It is slow. It is a lot slower than assembling native flora in assembling machines. But yeah, we can do it. We can get existent plenty of flavonoids, enough for sciences These things are this stuff is mostly just used in science, as far as I'm aware. So as far as I remember, mostly it's used in science. But with that, yeah, we've reached the end of the stream. We have reached the end. We have not gotten our incentives, and that's fine. That's no problem with that. No problem at all, but that does mean we get to end at the normal stream time today. We have gotten into artificial blood. I consider that we have gotten into it, though we haven't physically made a unit of it yet. It's just waiting on antimony to get restored after a little bit of a issue with powering the stuff. After a tiny issue related to power. Yeah. We didn't end up getting batteries into circuit 1 and then circuit 1 into the rare earth and rare earth to here. You know, it's a big chain of stuff that needs to happen before we can get artificial blood. But really, it's just that rare earth, and it is just that like sequence of things for the circuits. That's why we don't have any of the artificial blood. Now, between streams, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I get artificial blood and I get it to my mall so I can make Corlex and Zippier. That is one thing I want to have done, is actually getting artificial blood up here and make the Zippier and the Corlex. I don't remember, do I even have access to Mukmo yet? I don't think I do, no, not until this next science level. But that's another thing that needs artificial blood to get the first copy. It also needs good alien samples, and it comes after Grodd and Yotoi. Interesting. These are much later than I would have otherwise expected, but anyway. With that, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Show, but if you have enjoyed today's stream, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff down below the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, and hit the notification bell. Consider becoming a member of the channel by hitting the great big blue join button and supporting on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushow. But if you are so inclined and able, I will be back with more on Tuesday. I hope to see you all then.